Hello and welcome to another edition of Community Spotlight presented by Salem Radio Communications. I'm Jeannie Grant. The job market has changed vastly over the years, and I have in studio with me an organization that can help you navigate and cope with an ever-changing job climate. One Life at a Time is dedicated to helping those in need of employment assistance and preparing their clients to rejoin the workforce. All these services are free of charge. With me in studio today is Sara Polcari, career specialist with One Life at a Time. If you'd like to learn more about One Life at a Time, visit their website, www.1lifeatatime.org. Thank you for taking the time to be in studio with me, Sara.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Before we get started talking about One Life at a Time, let's talk a bit about the job outlook today. How do you feel about the job market from your perspective and its future outlook?
Okay. Well, we are getting people hired at One Life at a Time. We have a couple of hires every week, which is really, really exciting. Sometimes it takes longer than people expect to find a job. So it could be 6 months, it could be 2 weeks. You never really know. But the jobs are out there and things are looking brighter.
And as far as that goes, what are people's perspective that come in to see you? Do they come in and they're not quite sure what they're looking for, or how does that work out with your experience?
Well, we pretty much help people from the whole spectrum of people who are about to get laid off, whether they're a career changer and looking for something else. So we help people from all different walks of life, too. So we have lots of different programs and resources to help people get to where they want to be career-wise.
And for those people that may have a little more difficult time adjusting to their state of being, how do you help them do that?
We have computer program training. We have Microsoft Office certification that we actually just started this month. We also help people with job search techniques online. Computers and technology are always changing, so it's really important for people to stay on top of their computer skills and remain competitive in this economy.
And One Life at a Time started in 2007. Please tell me how the idea came about and how it's progressed over the years.
Sure. Our founder actually was unemployed at a time in her life, and she felt that she didn't have the resources that could help her get through that tough time. So when the opportunity came about, she was able to create an organization that has the whole spectrum of different services, from helping people with career planning, computer training, helping with resume and cover letter writing. We do the whole spectrum. So this organization was her dream, essentially.
Yeah, and I imagine even in 2007 that they really needed something out there. She could see where that niche is needed.
Definitely.
Even in this area. I understand you have 2 locations, but you serve throughout New England.
We can actually consult with people over the phone and through email if that's easier for them. Our organization is unique. It's very rare to find all of these programs and services free of charge. You know, most people would spend a lot of money for the type of assistance that we provide, but we're very fortunate to keep this mission going.
How far has someone come out to see you?
Let's see. I think we had someone in Virginia, I believe. And that was over the phone. But we've had a lot of referrals. People tell their friends and family about us. And so from there, it could be phone calls and staying in touch through email. But to come into the office, I'm not sure.
Now, how is that different when you're on the phone with someone as far as career counseling, them being there in person? How do you counsel them that way? How do you do that?
We might help with interviewing questions. How do they sound over the phone? Because a lot of employers are doing phone interviews as part of the pre-screen process. So we might give them feedback. Are they saying too many times? Are they getting their point across? So it actually works out okay. But we do prefer people to come into the office, at least for the first consult.
Now, phone interviews, that's a whole different world. I know so many people that have been in the job market for so long, and I believe at one point I had one experience in which someone said, is that a joke? I'm coming in, right? So what are the reactions that you may get from that?
I understand the employer's perspective because it is part of the pre-screen. They're interviewing so many candidates, and if they can weed some people out just by talking to them over the phone, then that makes sense. But from the candidate's perspective, it's really a disservice because people portray so much better in person. They want that chance to get their foot in the door and say, meet me, hear about all of the great things that I have to offer, rather than a 10-minute phone conversation. So it goes both ways.
On your website, there is a form to get an appointment for a consultation. Do you have any requirements of someone that wanted to come in and get some assistance from you?
We have no requirements, actually. The first step could be to fill out the online form. That's great. Another option would be to give the office a call, whether it's the Braintree or Rockland location, and the receptionist will be able to make an appointment for you, and hopefully you'll be seen that week, actually. So we have 4 career service specialists on staff, and between all of us, you should be able to get in pretty quickly. We try to help as many people as we can, so it is top priority.
And you cover the large career spectrum. You help people that are unemployed, you help people that are employed, you help people that are looking for a career change. So that is quite a large range, because most people, I think, when they think of a job service agency such as yours, they'll think, oh, those are for people who don't have a job. So please talk a little about that.
We do help people from all different walks of life, different stages, whether they are unemployed, they've been laid off for a couple of months, they're not quite sure what to do from here. And the first step would be to address the resume, see if there's any formatting changes that need to be made, if it needs to be updated, if the resume is working or not. Typically, you would go over the resume and the cover letter with the career specialist, and then from there, one thing leads to another. It could be interviewing skills, networking techniques, computer training, job search planning, so lots of different things that you can take advantage of.
And on that same note, as far as career spectrum, your appointments and the time you spend with a client, how does that range? Is it sometimes one appointment and then it's sometimes over a month? So how long does it usually? What is the average, do you think?
Yeah, it ranges. Typically, the appointments are 30 minutes, and you can come in once a week to meet with your career specialist. We've had people who have worked with us for a couple of weeks, and then they felt pretty confident to go out into the job market. And then we've had other people that have been working with us for 2+ years, and either they're coming in for computer training or just to brush up on interviewing skills. So we really have that touch-and-go relationship. We love seeing our clients succeed and get into those jobs that they're just so happy to be in, and they've worked so hard to get to where they wanted to be. So it is exciting to watch them grow from when they first come in. They may not have a resume. They've never even turned on a computer before in some cases, but when they walk out, they are a completely different person for the better.
This is what I think is so great about One Life at a Time. One is that an average person, they may have had a job for a long, long period of time, but they don't really know what they're really good at, or they don't know if they're just having a job and now they may not have a job. How do you assess what they need to do as far as finding them the job that might be right for them, maybe in this stage of the game?
Sure. There are actually a lot of different resources that they could take advantage of. Some are online, some are personality and skill assessments. I usually like to talk to the client and find out what their strengths and weaknesses are, what makes them happy, what are their passions in life. And from there, we can get an idea of where do they see themselves professionally. If they weren't happy in their last job, what did they dislike about it? How can we find them something different where they will be challenged in their new job and feel that they're giving back or they're successful in that role. So there's a lot of different resources that we work with our clients on.
And I wanted to ask just a little bit about you. I mean, how did you get into this field, and what drew you to this kind of work?
Well, I started out in higher education, working in the career services office with seniors and students getting ready to graduate, and I loved helping them. I love watching people come in with, they're uncertain about what they want to do, what are they going to do with their major, but once they graduate, they find that first job or the internship while they're still in school. So I really loved that development aspect. And then I found this position at One Life at a Time. And I figured, well, I want to work with the adult population. And I've loved every minute of it. I really love giving back to people. I try to help as many people as I can. And watching other people transform from when they first walk in the door, to when they get that first job. I'm excited to watch them grow, and that is very, very rewarding for me. I just love what I do, and I just try to be that support person for these clients who really need someone to hang on to during this period.
And one life at a time. I mean, it seems like a real blessing in this kind of a job market.
It is. A lot of our clients, once they find us, they are just ecstatic. They call it a hidden jewel, actually. And that makes us, it's a hidden gem. It's just, we get a lot of referrals, word of mouth. We do marketing. We do a lot of outreach to local libraries and at different networking events too. So hopefully people in the community will start to recognize some of our faces.
Now, you were talking a little about how you enjoyed working at One Life at a Time and the work that you do. Please tell me a few examples or a few stories that have been enlightening in this field.
Well, some of my clients, they might be coming from rock bottom and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. But after a few sessions and conversations that we have together, they're motivated. They're excited. They want to be aggressive about their job search and find what that passion is in their life. And that is so exciting for me too. But I love doing, just getting really excited for them when they do get that first job that they've been waiting for a long time. It might have been a few months or a couple years since they've worked, and I really do love that. I've had a couple of clients where we might have met for a few sessions. They needed their resume updated. We worked on some interviewing skills, and within a very short period of time, they were able to find employment. And I love when they come back to the office to tell me, Sarah, I got a job, and it's exactly what I wanted. And that is really exciting to share that moment with them. Some of them are high-end executives, and for them, it could take a little bit longer than they thought. And they go through a long, extensive interview process, but they end up hopefully getting hired at the end, and we've had that happen several times. So people come to us to brush up on those skills that they need to be successful.
You lead them through the process a bit. A lot of the time when people come to an organization such as this, they may think, oh, we just need some basic skills. But I noticed on your website, you have some advanced skills that you teach. Could you talk a little bit more about that, please?
We do teach different computer classes. Most of them are in Microsoft Office 2007, so it could be Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Outlook. We also cover different job board sites to check out. It could be Indeed or Craigslist, or there's several others. So we pretty much cover that whole area just to get those skills up to par. A lot of companies are still using Office 2003, and they're going to be upgrading to 2007. So again, that's important for people to get comfortable using that version, again, to be more marketable.
And I think on One Life at a Time, there's a lot of probably varying opinions about what this organization really is. So some people come in and they say, oh, I'll come in, I'll do the interview. I'll do the appointment, but it's like a job headhunter. What sets you apart in that way? I don't think you're exactly a job headhunter sort of a service.
Exactly. We are more about helping clients develop the skill sets to be more marketable in the workforce. So we are not a staffing agency. I wish we could find everybody jobs, but we just cannot do that. But it's more in the client's interest too to work on those skills so that when they are on the job, they feel confident and comfortable and they're proud of their skill set, and that's really where we come into play.
And we're talking about everywhere from presentation, from interview, from cover letter, from the whole spectrum, because sometimes there's 3 interviews that you have to attend.
And we'll get last minute phone calls saying, hey, I have that second interview tomorrow. Does someone have time to see me? And we do try to accommodate that because they're going to happen. You're going to find out about these interviews at the last minute sometimes. So preparation, it's key. So definitely take advantage of these services. We do have mock interviews. We'll even set up a camera to show you how the video looks and anything that you're doing if you're fidgeting too much or saying too many times. Those are all really good things to be aware of so that you do put your best foot forward in those interviews.
Now, when someone loses their job, it can be a drastic life adjustment. Now, in another sense, One Life at a Time deals in helping you cope with a new kind of lifestyle. Please talk about that a little bit.
Well, we actually have a lot of different resources available in the community. So if you did make an appointment with a career specialist and explain your situation, then we would be able to put you in touch with the right departments and organizations that would be helpful to that person, whether it's food assistance, clothing, heat and hot water, living arrangements, anything like that. We do have a lot of connections in the area, so we'd be happy to help any of our clients in those situations.
And there was even one area where you help people where they can even get a suit for their interview. A presentation seems to be a big asset that you have the resources to offer.
We do. One great program is Dress for Success, and they help people find suits that are appropriate for their body type. And if someone has an outdated suit and they have this interview coming up, yes, you do need to go out and get something new. Finances might be tight. So there are a lot of great resources available, and One Life at a Time will certainly point the person in the right direction to get that support.
Good, good. That's awesome. Actually, on top of that, unfortunately, there seems to be the new trend where you find these big companies that are going to kind of tell you who they're going to lay off. And there's that period of you're not sure what to do from there. There's a whole pre-layoff standpoint. And you also help people in that sense. You offer workshops for that.
We will, yeah. Anyone who knows that they're going to be laid off maybe in the next couple of months, our advice would be to come see us sooner than later, because that time is going to go by very quickly, and especially where jobs are so competitive right now. If there's anything that we can do to work with you, whether it's updating your resume, figuring out where you should be looking for a job, we'd like to work with you soon so that we can get you in the right direction and not wait until it's too late to find a position in employment.
On a more positive note, One Life at a Time has assisted many people in getting and maintaining their jobs. Please talk about a little of those success stories.
We've helped high-level marketing professionals with finding new jobs, whether their position was terminated before and they wanted to stay in that industry. We've helped people from entry-level positions. We've even had recent college grads come in and say, I need help finding a job, and so they might be looking for more entry-level positions. So we do cover the whole spectrum.
And you have people probably that come in that are a little older, that may have worked at their company for 26 years and then suddenly they don't have a job. I mean, how do you help them adjust?
That would be with their computer skills, getting them comfortable with applying for positions online. We do have computer specialists that will sit down in an individualized session with a client to go over how to fill out an online application, how to send and attach a resume through email. Those are really all important skills. The big thing that's also changed is interviewing, and now you're getting a lot of phone interviews, behavioral type interviews. Employers are asking questions that are a little off the wall that some older professionals might not be comfortable with. You know, why are they asking me? It's not related to the job. So that can be a little challenging. So we would want to work with the client on practicing the questions and answers and getting comfortable with those responses.
And can you give me just a couple of examples of a couple questions that you wouldn't expect to hear in an interview?
One question that's really common in sales is, sell me this pen. You know, how would you describe it? What would you say about it? Why should the person buy it? So that's kind of an interesting one. Another one is, what was the last book you read and why? So they're really looking for how you think quickly on your feet, and also a little bit more about your personality. Who are you? What do you have to offer? What makes you so great? And why would you fit in well with this organization? So they're looking for not only how well can you do the job, but what kind of person are you?
And in this current job market, I imagine that there's a lot of people that are doing a whole lot more work and doing a lot more multitasking than before.
Absolutely.
Could you talk a little about that and how you equip them for that?
I was job searching with a client once, and she was looking for an administrative assistant position. And we were going through a bunch of positions on Indeed.com, and we were noticing that the job descriptions were getting longer and longer and longer than compared to what she had been used to. Typically it might have been answering the phone, filing, scheduling appointments, but we actually saw a couple of positions where they were required to write a newsletter or do some graphic design and logo work. And it was very surprising to me to see this type of responsibility in an administrative assistant job description. So companies are trying to consolidate more projects on certain positions. So it's not surprising anymore, I guess, to see these job descriptions just saying, really? I have to do that for an administrative assistant or a customer service position? Or it is very surprising.
And social media plays a whole lot into the job market these days. You have things like LinkedIn and Indeed. You were talking about Indeed.com, and people are finding people very differently than it used to be.
One of the great networking sites is LinkedIn. I'm kind of a LinkedIn guru in that area, but it's huge because 80% of jobs are found through networking. So if you have the chance to stay connected with someone, whether it was you met at a networking event or a conference, or you were standing in line at the grocery store and you exchanged business cards, connect with them, stay in touch, because you never know when that person is going to be looking for another staff person like yourself. So relationships are everything. Just don't lose sight of that.
And a great part of One Life at a Time is that all of your computer equipment, all of the fax machines, all of those things are accessible within the environment.
They are. We have 2 beautiful offices. They're bright, cheerful. Our staff is super friendly. We go the extra mile for our clients. We're about relationship building. You're not just a number to us. All of our computer labs are up to date with the latest software. We have printers and resume paper if anyone needs to print out a hard copy if they're going on an interview soon. And we do have a fax machine that a lot of people take advantage of if they're sending in applications and resumes and any additional forms that they need for their job. So we're pretty much a one-stop shop. We have everything.
Yeah, and I know most people do have those things, but it's nice to know that they have access to that too.
And it's nice because the computer labs are open all day, so they're able to do a lot of job searching. It's nice and quiet. I know that sometimes at the libraries, people get kicked off after an hour or so, but in our computer lab, you can stay as long as you'd like to finish up those applications.
Well, let's talk a little about the website, www.1lifeatatime.org. It's got a lot of great features, and one of them is you can download a volunteer form if you're passionate about helping others. Is there a particular department in which you are most need of volunteers?
There isn't. Pretty much whatever the person's focus is in, if they would like to help us with marketing efforts, computer training. We also look for people to help us make phone calls and outreach. So we have a bunch of different projects. So whatever that particular person is interested in, we could create something too.
And you can also go online and download an application for to schedule a consultation.
Sure. Yep, that would be great. You can also call the main number to schedule an appointment as well.
And also, there's a place where you can make a donation to the organization. And I understand this is run strictly on private donations, and it is not state or federally funded. Is that correct?
It is. We are funded by a family, a local family in Massachusetts, and all of our services are free of charge. We are seeking donations from business partners that want to help us keep our mission alive.
And they can do that online?
They certainly can.
And it's also important to note that this organization is not commission driven either. The people that are helping you, they are not making any sort of commission or money over it.
Not at all. A lot of people say, what's the catch? It sounds too good to be true. But there really is no catch. We're really here to help as many people as we can. Yeah.
Okay. And now there are a lot of job assistant programs that are out there, not like yours. What do you think sets you apart from other job placement programs?
Well, we're small and we're quaint. We're really just about the relationships that we create with our clients. We want to see them succeed and be out in the workforce. So we're really about them as a person and not just, okay, 1 or 2 appointments and then you're off on your own. We'll work with you as long as you need. So it could be a couple of weeks or it could be a couple of years. We do have clients that come back and visit us, whether they need to brush up on Excel or Word, and that's perfectly fine too. We love to have them visit us.
And what do you think is the best reason why someone should visit One Life at a Time?
Our services are free. We're passionate about what we do, and we try to help as many people as we can, one life at a time.
Okay. Well, it was great talking to you today. One Life at a Time has 2 convenient locations. One is 100 Ledgewood Place, Suite 104 in Rockland. Contact them at 781-681-7003. That's 781-681-7003. And at 420 Washington Street in Braintree. That number is 781-356-9186. That's 781-356-9186. It was great talking with you today, Sarah. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Jeannie Grant. Make that decision to help your community.